Okay, so season update. Let's talk about the season. How has it been going, MrSneakyy? Because you'll probably be shocked, but we are going to showcase the current season talents. This is what I am running. It's what I decided to run. I just want to go for the most amount of damage as possible because I plan on resource healing, but nowhere near as much to probably take advantage of the logistical support. So that's kind of why I stayed away from it. But we have got the long-range warfare. We've got it finally, and this is what we've been waiting for as us Archmains in this season. We've been waiting to get our long-range warfare and use it and actually destroy some people. But at the moment, there's been no fighting from the AC side. So I don't know what AC you're playing at. Hopefully the AC guys build towards the Supreme Ancestor statue and give us some, statue fights like every other server. Otherwise, if they're not, it's just... I'm just going to call it bad rep, man. You're getting bad rep for just being a boring alliance. Let's just be honest, right? So we've got our actual season talents here. You'll see I've taken the 3 extra damage. I was so close to taking the 10 extra march speed, but I want to just see how much damage you can actually deal with this build. That's the whole reason. I want to see if this build is worth the damage. Literally, is it worth it, right? So that's kind of the season talents going on to that. Coming into the your actual policies, I've gone also, guys, almost finishing up on here. You can see we've got an hour to go for this one, and then we'll trigger it off again. But we've got all of our healing done. All the healing is done, which is really big for the elixir healing side, because I'm going to start doing the, obviously, resource healing side later on. Why have I done elixir healing? And I might make a video on this, maybe. Maybe I'll talk to someone else and we have a collab, who knows. But in this healing, I'm going to be honest, to heal over 300,000 troops, for me, at the moment, it's costing me around 12 hours. And that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. It's so much speed. And I do think if you have the legions, so if you look at my total legions here, 3.4 million, right? Total legions, right? It makes sense to have more speed. It really does. If you don't have total legions, then I don't think it matters to have that speed. It's just probably better to have the bigger amount. So then when you die or go to sleep, you can just fill up and you don't have to worry about it. But speed is so good when you have a lot more troops, especially when it comes to the resource healing side too. Obviously, the resource healing side is going to scale with your troops. I've got 3.8 million worth of daily resource healing, which is basically all of my troops. So I can basically heal all of my troops entirely once, right, in the entire day, plus a little bit extra, which is nice. It's nice, but I can add more on soon. But when it comes to my thinking now, you've got to think I am running long range warfare. So I've been obviously talking about different artifacts and ways you can be running archers this season, hence some of the recent artifact videos I've done. So I'm glad you guys have been enjoying them. So this is kind of like putting it all together on a freelance video here, just to showcase what we're going to be running, right? So we've got our marchers. If we press 1, we've got all of our archer marchers here, right? And the thing is what I've started to learn is I think I'm going to be changing this entire setup, honestly. So when it comes to the artifacts, stuff like this, honestly, what you want to equip, when it especially comes to my Syndron Freygar, we want to put on the good old Viola's bow. And it sounds crazy, I know, but the fact that you're gaining 50% HP is so powerful in long-range warfare. Because the thing with long-range warfare, which people don't realize, you lose 20% attack. So what you really want to do is become tankier, so your trades per turn is so much better than your opponents. So becoming tankier is better. That's why even the Heart of Kamse is one of the best artifacts in the game now, because of how good it is, and it AoE buffs all of your archers, so you have to include it in your march. Now, you can see we have options. We actually have options. I could run Rattle Spear still, because Rattle Spear says, whenever I inflict a defense break, I'm going to get that ignore 10% of the enemy's defense for 7 seconds, right? I'm going to get that. I'm getting that additional mitigation on the march, which is pretty good. And it gives me, obviously, 22% attack. With the 40, so that's 62% attack. And at level 1, it's 1.5% damage. But as you guys have seen, and I am going to do it in the video, and I'm going to test this out when we get some war, is Archer's Master's Manual on the march. Because to be honest, I have enough defense break, I'm happy with everything, and the only thing I care about, honestly, is stats. This is giving me here at max rank, you can see 46% defense plus 5% damage taken reduction. And that is what's key. Honestly, the damage taken reduction of 5% is key because that is going to help you so much more than you think than running an artifact like your Gold Crest with a 1.5% and a 62% attack bonus. I'm going to be honest with you, and you're going to find this out the hard way when you try it out. So what's going to happen is, this is what my marches are going to look like. And then here, what I'm going to run, and it's going to shock you all, is going to be my Tier of Arbon. And I know what you're thinking, why am I going to run this? I only care about the healing to keep my marches, honestly, healed up. Another thing you could use, and I have said this in live streams, I've said it on videos, I've said it a load of times. One person actually used their big brain and mentioned it on the comment section, so big shout out to you. You could in theory use Dragon Scale Armor. This will also give you 17% HP and 6%, for me anyway, 6% damage taken reduction for my Indis March. What's really good about that is my Indis is now providing a 39 boon shield for 3 surrounding legions, and they also gain 10% extra keen, which is amazing. So I don't even care about any of this bottom bit, but if I replace this and ran this type of build, you can kind of see what we're running for. We've got insane tankiness on all of our marches with long range warfare. We've got all the passive buffs we need, and on top of that, Viola's bow is going to be the best artifact, I'm going to say right now, in long range warfare. Why? Because the thing is, with this artifact that people don't realize, you could have this charged up, right, with long range warfare, very similar to your Gold Crest, or similar to your Shadow Blades, or even some regards your Gilded Crossbow, right? But what's so good about this is it's going to be charged up, and whenever those absolute monsters of infantry groups run into you, you're going to silence them for 10 seconds. So guess what? They're not going to use them Spirit Bone Talks. They're not going to use their Grey Mars Warhammers. They're not going to use Dragon Scale Armors. They're not going to use Fang of Ashikaris, right? They're not going to use anything of that because you've got the support utility of the Viola's bow and you're hitting 5 targets. So it's so good to have on a march, right? With that, with the final thing, I'm actually going to run it like this. Literally, that's all we're going to run. And if we were going to run an additional Archer March, maybe we do change things up, right? Maybe we change things up. But this is honestly, I think, how I'm going to run my archers when it comes into it. And then because we've got long range warfare, hell yeah, I can just run this march, right? And it's good to go. Even on top of that, if I really wanted to, guys, I could just go Tier of Arbon here, right? Hit the Tier of Arbon, boom, get rid of the Wyvern Riders, and then just go boom. You know what I'm saying? I have so much flexibility with these 2 slots, and because of long range warfare, I can use my mages with my archers, and they're all going to benefit from it. They're all going to benefit from it. If I honestly had a good bit Toha, maybe I would run that. Maybe. But I don't honestly have a good Bertrand and Toha, so I'm not going to get that many, you know, effects. That's why I'm going to run the Lilia and Valen instead. And we're going to be running our Indis and Tara, right? So the support of all of the marches. So that's how we're going to be looking at this season. Obviously, and it's been interesting for me because you got to think with obviously the season talents and what we've taken, as well as, you know, the policies being counter mage and counter infantry. I'm hoping to absolutely be the mage menace in this game, right? So that's kind of like a nice season update. That's kind of where we're at. You've seen my season talents. You've seen my season policies. Basically, quickly run through what I'm going to be running in the future now, because we're waiting for the good old AC to show up, because we don't know if they're going to fight or not, because the thing is, there's this pass here, and that's for the Supreme statue. And it looks like, from everyone's point of view, AC are not building towards it. They're just going to use this top one here, right? They're just going to literally fight this top side, which is, it is what it is, right? I would love to fight you guys in the Supreme Ancestor statues. That's where everyone expects to be fighting, right? But if you don't show up, you don't show up, right? But that's kind of how the season's going, right? If you want a nice little update, I want to shout out, honestly, even though I get loads of fucking hate from some of the guys there, DS, honestly, some of the DS guys constantly fighting, constantly doing something. And this is kind of what we was expecting to do with, you know, Pay to Win and AC. It's just not led like that. It is what it is. But they're doing a really good little fun job up here. So if you want to watch some action, you can watch the DS and 90th side up on the top. And even down at the bottom, it's kind of like quieted down now. But here you've got DBB as well as IS, right? So you can watch even this if you want. So a big shout out to these guys, even though, you know, some of them are allies, some of them are enemies. I've got to give credit where credit's due. It's really fun to watch. Obviously, those guys fighting, while Burgas and all the burger crew in AC are just flipping burgers and having a good time nomming, clearly, right? So that's going to be today's video. A nice little season update. It was recorded on the 13th just to kind of showcase that, guys. So when this goes live, maybe they've built towards the past and it's a little bit different to how it looks now. Who knows? But obviously, I can be a Time Lord and guess that. So if you enjoyed the video, the nice little season update, you like how I talked about my Archer Marchers, what I'm going to be running as well, you know, in that setup and artifact wise, you know, to do, smash like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.